Hold onto your seats, basketball fans. We've got a jaw-dropping trade rumor that's shaking up the NBA. The Chicago Bulls are on the brink of a massive overhaul, and a 5-team blockbuster could change everything we know about the league's landscape. With former All-Stars Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic potentially on the move, could this trade be the key to a Bulls revival or a game-changing shakeup for multiple teams? Welcome to Chicago Bulls News, your go-to source for the latest updates on the Windy City's favorite team. Today, we're diving deep into some breaking news that could totally reshape the landscape of the NBA, specifically the Chicago Bulls, and a potentially game-changing blockbuster trade that's been making waves. Buckle up, because this one's a roller coaster. Let's get into it. The Chicago Bulls find themselves in a tricky situation right now. After a series of recent moves, they've already parted ways with two of their key players, DeMar DeRozan and Alex Caruso. Both players were crucial to the team's performance and leadership, and their departures have left a significant gap in the roster. But here's the twist: the Bulls can't fully embrace a rebuild until they also move former All-Stars Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic. Now, you might be thinking, how hard can it be to trade away two high-profile players? Well, it turns out, it's not as straightforward as it seems. LaVine and Vucevic come with their own set of challenges that make finding new homes for them a complicated affair. First, let's talk about Zach LaVine. LaVine, who's been a standout player for the Bulls, is coming off a couple of tough seasons. Injuries have plagued him, causing concerns about his long-term health and reliability. On top of that, LaVine's contract is a major factor. He's owed $138 million over the next 3 seasons, a hefty sum that could make teams hesitant to take him on, especially with the risk of his injury history. In the world of the NBA, a contract like LaVine's isn't just a number, it's a commitment that can impact a team's salary cap and future flexibility. For any team considering a trade for LaVine, it's a significant gamble. They have to weigh his potential impact on their roster against the financial burden his contract represents. This makes LaVine a challenging piece to move, despite his undeniable talent. Now, let's shift our focus to Nikola Vucevic. The veteran center, who has been a solid contributor for the Bulls, is also in a tough spot. At 33 years old, Vucevic is showing signs of a decline in his performance. While he was once a dominant force in the paint, his game has dipped, and he's not quite the same player he used to be. This decline in performance, coupled with his $60 million contract over the next 2 years, makes him a less attractive trade asset. The situation for Vucevic is particularly tricky. Teams interested in acquiring him would have to consider his age, recent performance trends, and the remaining value of his contract. If a team is looking for immediate impact and long-term potential, Vucevic's declining performance and hefty deal might be a tough sell. So, with both LaVine and Vucevic presenting significant hurdles, how can the Bulls move forward? That's where the exciting part comes in. A proposed 5-team trade could be the answer to their problems, offering a potential path forward for the Bulls while addressing their immediate needs and long-term goals. Here's the lowdown: the proposed trade involves not just the Bulls, but also the Atlanta Hawks, New Orleans Pelicans, Portland Trail Blazers, and Charlotte Hornets. It's a multi-team deal that could see the Bulls offloading both LaVine and Vucevic while bringing in some intriguing new players and a valuable draft pick. Let's break down what each team would get in this trade and how it could potentially benefit the Bulls. DeAndre Ayton, the centerpiece of the deal for the Bulls. Ayton, the 25-year-old center from the Phoenix Suns, is a dynamic and young talent who could immediately become a cornerstone of the Bulls' future. His presence in the paint and his potential for growth make him an exciting addition. Ayton's game has shown glimpses of greatness, and a change of scenery could be exactly what he needs to reach his full potential. Williams and Green alongside Ayton, the Bulls would also acquire promising players like Williams and Green. These younger talents have shown significant potential and could provide the Bulls with valuable depth and future upside. 2026 first-round pick. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of this trade is the inclusion of a 2026 first-round pick. This draft pick represents a future asset that the Bulls could use to further build and develop their roster. It's a chance to add another young, talented player to their team and continue their rebuild with a long-term focus. So, why is this trade such a big deal? For the Bulls, this deal represents a significant shift in their approach. After a disappointing 2023-24 season, where they found themselves stuck in the middle of the Eastern Conference with no clear path forward, this trade could provide the flexibility they need. By moving on from Levine and Vucevic, they'd be clearing the way to develop their younger players and create a more sustainable, competitive team. The addition of Ayton, Williams, and Green gives the Bulls a solid foundation to build on. Ayton's potential as a dominant center combined with the promising skills of Williams and Green could set the stage for a new era of Bulls basketball. And with the 2026 first-round pick in their back pocket, the Bulls would have another valuable asset to help them continue their growth and development. Of course, this trade isn't without its challenges. Pulling off a deal of this magnitude would require a lot of moving pieces to fall into place. Each team involved would need to agree on the terms, and there would be a lot of negotiations to ensure that all parties get what they want out of the trade. For the Bulls, the challenge is to ensure that the trade aligns with their long-term goals. They need to balance the immediate benefits of acquiring Ayton, Williams, and Green with the future potential represented by the 2026 draft pick. This means carefully evaluating how these players fit into their plans and how they can contribute to the team's success in the coming years. In the grand scheme of things, this proposed trade could be a game-changer for the Bulls. It's a chance for them to reset and build a new foundation, one that's potentially brighter and more promising than the current setup. With the right moves, they could transition from being a middling team in the Eastern Conference to a serious contender in the future. So, what do you think about this blockbuster trade idea? Could this be the breakthrough the Bulls need to get back on track? Or are there other moves you'd like to see them make? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take on this. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the trade rumors and analysis, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on all things NBA. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, keep your eyes on the court and your heart in the game. See you next time.